How you doing, guys? I'm back again, going live. There's a couple of videos I want to get out and put out, not just to put them out for the sake of just being on here, but this is just some real talk. I think I'm going to make this a little spread out series. I want to start it tonight before I go to bed. I'm on here, as you can see, the title says ex-pastor. Now, there's a pastor, and on YouTube, they call him the ex-pastor. I follow some of his videos. Well, let me take that back. Let's use words that are just the truth. I watched some of his videos. Then I began to, research a little bit on him or whatnot, what the case may be. Now, let me tell you something. I see a lot of y'all bashing him, dogging him, especially the church world, you preachers and prophets and all kind of stuff. Let's show love, people. Um, Nevertheless, I grew up in the church from a little girl. My title they still give me to this day. When people see me, they call me Prophetess Breedlove, Evangelist Breedlove, etc., etc., etc. And like this brother here, who they call the ex-pastor, I'm just gonna speak briefly on this. And brother, I'm not trying to bash you or none of that. I totally agree with him. You could research him yourself and check out some of the videos that he has done. His name is the title was ex-pastor, and you'll see where I'm coming from. I began to go a little further and follow him. When I followed him a little further, researched him a little further, he threw me off. And what I mean by that, my brother, if you do come across my video, when I saw the two wife thing, so I'm not with that. To each his own. God bless you. But in your defense, just like him, I was in it for years. Preach hard body, Jesus this, Jesus that, and just like him, I didn't just awaken to it. It was just like even when I started it, I've seen discrepancies, and but I believed, there were things that were done that was like what we would call maybe a miracle going through the church. But we must understand this. Before I even got into the church, my mother always was a spiritual person. She read the Bible, but she never was a church person. She would never step into the building or go into the building, but she would make sure that we prayed and read the Bible or scriptures too before we went to bed as young girls. Nevertheless, ex-pastor, I totally wholeheartedly agree with you on a lot of things you have said. Quite frankly, the Bible is almost, but I just want to add a little flavor to what he said. I believe ex-pastor, and correct me if I'm wrong, that his name is Kevin Wesley, and he believes and says that the Bible isn't real at all. I'm a true believer that the Bible is half truth and half truths, okay? Half false, half truths, you know. And what do I mean by that? How can I back that? In other words, I believe that it's been altered, it's been messed with, but I also can find things uh, that is true. But I can find a lot of things that is not true. That there's no solid ground to it. So with all the bashing that ex-pastor took and that you guys gave him, my brother, I totally agree with you. There's a lot of bull crap in the Bible. Unfortunately, no matter how much teaching you try to do to everybody and let everybody know, they're not going to get with you on that because it's something that's embedded in their head. And my son want to call me all of a sudden, you guys, while I'm doing live. Do I have to do this live over here? Let me see what this boy wants. Hello.
Yeah, I gotta be at my It's a run. It's a run around. It's not. I gotta be there around like 9 or 8, at least 8:40.
All right. I'll call you back because I'm live right now. Sorry for the interruption because I don't want to do this over. But his name, I want y'all to go check him out. His name is ex-pastor. I keep saying his name is ex-pastor. His name is Kevin Wesley. But on the YouTube channels, you'll find ex-pastor. And pretty much people have just written him off, But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. I pop in every now and then because I still love to hear the worship. But y'all got to understand that Words are everything. So I take certain scriptures and use them because they're words. And just like you can take a vibe, a certain vibe, a certain energy, positive energy, negative energy, or whatnot, whatnot. I take them certain words and I utilize them words and try to be as positive as I can to keep that energy and that vibe around me, that positive side, not the negative. Now, um, as far as Adam and Eve being the first people here on earth, I can prove that wrong. In the garden and all this kind of stuff, people hate to hear that. And I don't understand that about church people, pastors, bishops, apostles, or whatnot. I really don't understand that. I don't get that from them. Why is it such a problem? When I used to be in the church and I used to try to, and I saw things that just didn't line up, like ex-pastor, Kevin Wesley was saying, I'm like going to them like, hey, instead of doing it out in the open, I would pull a leader to the side, like, look, I got this question. And then they tried their best to answer it, or they felt like, hey, you're being rebellious, or they'll go to the point, don't question God. No, the devil is a liar. Don't question God. And all you're getting, your Bible says, get a full understanding. In all thy getting, get understanding. So I'm trying to get an understanding because a lot of this stuff that I'm reading, okay, I don't see it to be true. And then when I try to ask, I'm being rebellious, I'm this, I'm that. And the first thing they'll say about this brother, Kevin Wesley, is that he's in a reprobated mind. That's the first thing they'll do. He need his mind renewed. No, he has awakened, like myself. And I see a lot of foolishness and a lot of dumbness. Now, what I'm learning is that I cannot force you to wake up. Everybody is going to wake up on their own time. When you force a person to wake up when they don't want to, you know, what they do, they get mad. When you wake a person up out of bed while they're sleeping before the alarm clock goes off, what happens? They get angry, they get upset. So let them awaken on their own time, my brother, and just put out the information that was given to you to put out and leave it at that, and let these ninjas go and research it for themselves. I'm learning that myself. Stop forcing the issue. Put the information out. And if they want it and they don't believe what you're saying or agree with what you're saying, then that you drop the seed for them to go search and they'll see. And just like you, Kevin Wesley, what made me find out that a lot of this hokey pocus mess in the Bible wasn't true is because I went and researched on my own. I'm like, listening to the preaching, God said, I loved it. I love it. But then when I started looking at stuff and researching things for myself, and I'm like, wait a minute, huh, huh, huh? It doesn't line up. It's a lot of that stuff is not true, and I'm still afraid to this day to even say Jesus ain't real. I'm afraid to really kind of say that. I don't want to discourage nobody. I don't want to disappoint nobody. I don't want to hinder nobody. I don't want to take nobody from their God. I I'm still in the process of looking and studying, and a lot of people is telling me, leave that alone. That ain't nothing but the devil trying to pull you this way, blah blah blah, trying to pull you that way. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I'm going to continue to search. I'm not going to just take anybody's word for anything. And I don't want y'all that's listening to me just to take my word. Go search it for yourself. So I say this, and I'll get into the next part on tomorrow. Go deeper with it. My brother, that they call ex-pastor Kevin Wesley, you are on point. I don't agree with your brother. When you went to the left over that way, when I saw you on Facebook and I researched you a little more with the two wide things, but if you happy, they happy, do your thing. I don't agree with it, but that's you. I ain't sharing nothing. Especially not my husband, my man. That ain't happening. But to each his own. But brother, I totally agree with you on this side of the fence. God bless you. God bless the rest of you too. And do your own research. Open your eyes and see, guys. Stop being fooled. Stop being swayed. Open your eyes and see what's really going on in this world and how everything around us is being orchestrated and how we're being used as puppets. Mm-hmm. Really? Really?